Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with more iRacing, this time around here with the all-new Acura ARX-06. Yeah, a bit of a mouthful of a name, but looking forward to taking out the second of the all-new GTP cars. If you missed out yesterday's video where we dived in with the Porsche 963, would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But today though, we're taking this thing to Zandvoort. I thought, of course, Zandvoort has had a bit of an update. It's now back to its modern counterpart again. The old version was 14 years old. So nice to see, obviously, iRacing have made some tweaks, have made some adjustments, of course, because, yeah, the track in the game was nothing like it was in real life anymore. So I thought two birds, one stone, like I said. Hopefully, obviously, we can try and have some good fun today. Of course, if you're new around here and you're not already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed if you enjoy the iRacing content on the channel. But yeah, let's jump in then, first of all, as always, with a bit of a sound test. This thing's American, so I'm expecting big things. Well, that's disappointing, I won't lie. Oh, dearie me. This thing sounds like a tractor off the start. Maybe it'll sound a bit better without the soft limiter on, but yeah, heading then out to Zandvoort, of course. For those of you that don't know, Acura is the posh way of saying Honda. They just kind of seem to be their American version of the brand. Nope, still sounds pretty dreadful. Don't mind the turbo spool, but apart from that, this thing is not great sounding, which is a disappointment when you compare it up against the Cadillac. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts and feelings on the way this car sounds. So maybe a lot more of the talk today is going to be about the news updates to Zandvoort as well. Of course, very, very weird combo. Probably never going to see GTP cars racing here unless, really, unless Max Verstappen suddenly decides he wants to race GTPs, which wouldn't surprise me in the future, to be completely honest, as well. Then Max kind of strikes me as the kind of guy that he's going to probably jump into just about anything he can get his hands on when he's done with Formula 1 there. But yeah, of course, this thing, I won't lie, I don't know a lot about. It kind of has been, kind of bullied by a lot of the other GTP cars in real life. Obviously, I don't really get much of a chance to watch IMSA either, so I can't really tell you how well it's done in that regard. And if it was at Le Mans, I certainly don't remember it there, so it can't have had much of an impact either there. So, yeah, like I said, really not too much to talk about this car then. Of course, it feels very, very quick down the straights. Give it credit in that regard. I mean, that's 180 miles an hour here at Zandvoort, which is not much slower than a Formula 1 car. I've also done a Zhou Guanyu. No, I've done a Valtteri Bottas instead. Been able to get the thing slowed down there. Got to test the escape roads around these venues as well. So there you go. If you run wide at turn 1, you can use that escape road and get back on. And didn't even give me a 1x, if I'm not mistaken there, as almost running a little bit wide. I think this is the problem, of course. I'm going to probably try and use the F1 lines, a bit like I did at Spa yesterday, of course, in the 963. But yeah, this thing again, though, coming with a 7-speed box, to be honest, doesn't feel very, very different to the Porsche at all. I kind of spoke about that, of course, in yesterday's video. The Porsche felt quite similar to the Cadillac, and the Acura feels quite similar to the Porsche. So obviously, yeah, these high downforce cars, obviously no ABS. You do get traction control with them though, but you don't really need to lean on either all too much. So you get a little bit of traction bog on the corner exits from time to time. But I have noticed this thing though, got an incredibly long first gear, and I'll give it credit where I can. The overrun, sorry, sounds very, very good. The turbo spool does sound quite good in this thing, so I think that probably helps as to why it sounds like it's accelerating so quickly relative to the Porsche, which of course sounded decent, but nothing. I think unfortunately we kind of got spoiled, didn't we, with the Cadillac, I think is the harsh reality here. But Zandvoort though, I must admit, I'm very, very impressed. They've done a very, very good job of this circuit. It's one that I quite enjoy racing around now on the F1 game as well. It's been made a lot more enjoyable by F1 23, because to be honest, before that game, really did hate this place. Let's see, you can really use the camber as well through the banking. Obviously, that's the other thing as well. The F1 game hasn't really simulated the camber particularly well through the hairpin either, so obviously feels a bit more like a proper roller coaster on iRacing as well. So I just cannot get that corner right. Keep just running a little bit too wide there, too used to trying to take it almost flat. in a Formula 1 car. But yeah, I must admit, you know, I think the Acura, of course, you know, it's a nice addition, obviously trying to get it onto the sim, but hasn't really seen anywhere near the same sort of hype. Of course, the BMW, you know, being the first GTP car on the platform was always going to be exciting. The Cadillac, always going to be the best sounding car on the platform. And obviously, the Porsche is a Porsche. You know, a Porsche top-class race car is always exciting. So this thing kind of just you know, it's in a very tough crowd, isn't it? Against all of those other vehicles. So maybe I could race it at Sympathy in the future, but I don't know. Let's see what it's like going high out of the final corner. Notice how big the drop-off is actually at that final turn, don't you? In a car like this. It does feel quick down the straight, so maybe it would be competitive when we go to Le Mans. And definitely actually noticing, of course, perhaps it's because it's a lower speed circuit. We are struggling a little bit more with the front locking than we did at Belgium in that Porsche there. Again, going to try and get the car nice and up high through the bank, and it really does hug you in there. Actually a little bit disorientating as well, obviously, because you're in the closed cockpit. You can't quite see where the exit is when you tip it in, obviously, unlike a Formula 1 car, which certainly makes things rather scary. But I might actually be able to race at Zandvoort again on iRacing, because, like I said, the old venue, the scan was so old there, that could have almost been GG's. The scan was so old that, you know, it had so many just stupid curves and things like that. It was not an enjoyable track to race on the sim, but maybe I won't race it in this car. I certainly feel like it's going to be a whole lot more fun now on the iRacing platform. But yeah, do I think the Acura is going to be popular? Not particularly. I think it's probably going to be, unless you get a track where it's really OP for whatever reason, don't think it's going to be the popular choice at all on the platform. But like I said, I'll give it credit where it's due. The turbo spool sound is very, very good fun to listen to as well, obviously, especially when you come in towards a braking zone as well there. But yeah, this kind of, to be honest, was the content that I was the least hyped for. You could probably tell that as well by iRacing socials. You know, there wasn't as much interest in this thing. You know, most people were just kind of interested in where the Porsche was coming. But I think, you know, it'll have its own little niche of people that maybe will love the unloved child of the 4, I think is probably the way it's going to work. And maybe, you know, if you're a Honda fan as well, Honda/Acura, you're going to like this thing, of course, because yeah, just a little bit of a weird brand, isn't it, I suppose, in this day and age. As I've broke too late then, I've gathered it up that time round. So you can still push. Track limits seem decent as well around Zandvoort. Just not there again. Yeah, we will try and go for a push lap next time round, though, and sort of see what this thing is going to be capable of. But yeah, I mean, kind of says a lot, isn't it, when the big positive of this car review is the new track. Oh, the updated track, even, I should say. I'm going to be taking the new Ferrari over to, I can't even remember the name of it. It's like Lebanon or something. I'm probably going to butcher it horrendously in that video as well. But yeah, rounding in towards the final couple of corners. One of the good things about Zandvoort is that really starts 2 corners from the flag. So let's give you guys a listen, and we'll go for an attacking lap here at the Dutch Grand Prix circuit.
Flat for you.
A little bit annoyed there that I made that mistake once again, but I'll give it credit. It does sound a lot better now. I'm actually getting to a proper opportunity to listen to it a little bit more. I think I'm going to go for one more attacking lap next time through, of course. You know, don't really read too much into the lap times in these things. Of course, it's default setup, and you never quite know what the battery's doing either, but, you know, all things neutral. Let's try and see if we can get a 124 out of it.
fast left for you.
And it's not been a particularly good representative as we make our way out of the final corner up towards the line. Meant to be like a 24.8 by the looks of it. Will we get information? We don't even get told. What was the last lap? There we go, 124.818 in the end there. But yeah, I'll be honest. You know, if you want all the GTP cars, then it's still a good fun car to drive. But I just have not warmed to this. I think, unfortunately, you know, you got three big titans of the IMSA racing calendar, and this. Maybe, perhaps you feel like an underdog, this is going to be the car for you. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Zamvor, on the other hand, I would highly recommend, obviously, because you get both tracks now for free. Sorry, in the same bundle as such now, so you get two versions of the layout. Would highly recommend that. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow taking on the final new piece of content that I'm really interested in. That is going to be the Ferrari 296. A massive thank you to my Patreon supporters that you can see currently on your screens. If you want to join them from as little as £1 a month, it would be massively appreciated and you help support my work. You also get access to weekly updates from myself with everything going on behind the scenes with the channel. But yeah, a massive thank you to the names you see on your screen, and we'll be back very soon with a brand new video.